Hello people, this is Mark from Courage Changeworks. Guys, hope you're well. Guys, Christmas Eve. It's great, isn't it? Here is something that I want to dedicate to a good friend of mine and Laura's. His name is Alan, lives in Liverpool. He is a life coach and he's also become a fellow student with myself, at least initially, and then later when Laura joined in. And he's become someone whose experience, knowledge, time is becoming more appreciated as we go along. He's a nice guy. In the beginning of this year, 2020, he said something to me like this. We need to get rid of the shoulds and the musts and the have tos. Now, if we could eradicate those words out of our language, how much different will the world be? I don't know, but let's play a game. I want to ask you to imagine for a minute that your internal awareness is heightened in terms of how you feel, what you feel, what you think, and the reasons why you think it. Just those four things. And I want to make a statement, and I want you to play it back in your own head as if you are saying it to yourself regarding a particular issue. And whatever you experience, put it in the comments box. I would like to hear your story and see what we can do about it. How can we change? But this is going to come a bit later in the video. Here's the statement. You have to do it now. You should be doing this. You should not be doing that. You have to behave yourself, otherwise you will get punished. Okay? Let's pause the video for a second and let's come back in a sec. Okay. I'm assuming that you have paused the video and thought about the feelings and the thoughts that you had regarding those couple of statements that I gave you a few seconds or so ago. What did you feel? How did that make you feel? What did you think? I wonder why you thought that. Like I said, put it in the comments box. You see, my friend, this is the thing that I've realized since Alan spoke about it. In the run-up to Christmas, I've noticed in my own life, I've been saying a lot of musts, have tos, shoulds. And what I've noticed in my own life is how much pressure I've placed on myself. All of a sudden now, my options have gone from whatever it was, and it seems to have narrowed down. Because these model operators of necessity dictate the need, the necessity to do this one commandment, whatever the commandment is, from whoever is the one that's speaking it out. Interesting, is it not? Let's play the game in the inverse. Imagine again, heightened awareness to this. I'd prefer to be able to do that. I wouldn't mind learning that. That would be nice. I would like that. Okay? Same exercise, pause. Again, I'm assuming that you've paused the video. What did you notice that was different in terms of those two little exercises that we've done? My assumption is the second one feels a lot better. My assumption again is the second one is preferred over the first one. Now, I'm not saying that we can't say we should, we have to, and all this kind of stuff. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we need to use the model operator of necessity appropriately. When there is a deadline that is outside your control that gets imposed on you, then yes, there is need to say that. And there is need to hear it and diligently comply. But when you yourself have the choice to say whether you have to, you should, you must, or must not allowed to, shouldn't. And if you can soften it to I would like to, I prefer to, that would be nice, thank you. I wonder how much pressure you would take away from your own life just by softening something in your language, in your behavior. These rules that we make for ourselves, maybe we need to change these rules a little bit and allow ourselves a bit of grace. Consider 2020, my friend. Hasn't it been a year of musts, mustn'ts, you have to, not allowed to? How controlling it is, how it limits what we're allowed to do, what we're allowed to go places, these kind of things. It kind of cuts our options and our freedoms. So, I understand the reasons why we've been told these model operators of necessity statements from those who make them. I understand. I suppose as a person who's maybe a little bit aware of other issues, I wonder if it is that they've been told that they have to, they must, with consequences added to the condition of necessity, because it normally works like that. Threat, statement, threat, consequence. I'm going to encourage you that in 2021, which is only a week away if we think about it or so, to change the way that we speak about ourselves in terms of how we demand certain things of ourselves. Changing things like should to could, have to maybe I'd like to, or I prefer to. You yourself knows probably more verbal kind of words that might apply more appropriately to yourself. The point here, my friend, is taking these shoulds and musts and da-da-da-da and soften it to give you more choice, more options, more flexibility. Let's make it a model operator of flexibility and choice, options. NLP world, take note. We live in a pressurized place. The world's not fun some of the time, particularly when you are told what you have to do. or else. It is like being in that pressure cooker where the pressure just keeps on being applied and applied and applied and applied and applied. Oftentimes, it is us ourselves that applies this pressure to ourselves. And then we wonder why we can't cope. And we wonder why we're in this mad rat race. Are we to blame for it? In part, I'd say yes. Are we so powerless that we have given away all our authority to the powers that be so they can be the musketeers, the puppeteers who we've attached our strings to their control? I don't know. For 2021, soften your language and then become aware of how different your world becomes. As Alan says, it might change the atmosphere in your universe. Your sky will change in your world. That's all I want to say. Soften. Let's get these restrictions and break it apart into options. The narrowness to choice. And only when appropriate, take choice and make it narrow because of the demands that is set for us. Often those are outside of our control. And note the difference. Effectively, what I'm saying to you is, learn to be kind and gracious to yourself. Because once you are kind to yourself and being gracious to yourself, it then becomes easier to be kind and gracious to others because you appreciate how it feels. If ever there was a Christmas message that I would have to preach, it would be this one. Take away the stress and the pressure from you and from others by being kinder. Maybe a little bit more compassionate. Something to that effect. That's it. I hope that this particular video has helped you to realize that we ourselves put ourselves under a ton of pressure and how unnecessary it is. If you think that this is going to help you, comment please. If you think this might help other people, share it. Tell them to subscribe. The YouTube admin, as I ask for frequently. Me and Laura, we appreciate your support. But for now, I'm going to say a Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas to you. Have a good one. Enjoy your time with your family. Enjoy your time with your friends. For now, this is Mark from Courage Changeworks, and I'll speak to you soon.